Yeah. Hello my lovely wolf pack, and I'm back with another creepy video. Today we're going to be talking about a very, very unsolvable mystery. The mystery of the Watcher. I've seen tons of videos on this subject. I have also read up about it, and I wanted to make this video because it's super creepy mystery and I think y'all would enjoy it. Before I start this video, remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Follow me and everything, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my videos. If you can get me to 200 subscribers, I will have my sister cover me in slime. Speaking of which, all links in the description for my last video if you haven't seen it yet. And that's our intro. Roll the intro. Okay, so since I can't remember every single detail of the story, I actually have it right here on my phone. So let me just find it. So the story begins. One night in June of 2014, Derek Brutus had just finished an evening of painting his new home in Westfield, New Jersey. When he went outside to check the mail, Derek and his wife, Maria, had closed on the 6-bedroom house of 657 Boulevard. That's another name for the Watcher. 3 days earlier, and were doing some renovations before they moved in, so there wasn't much in the mail except a few bills and a white-shaped envelope. It was addressed in thick, chunky handwriting to the new owners, and the typed note said, "Begin warmly." The Broadduses, buying 657 Boulevard, had fulfilled a dream. Maria was raised in Westfield, and the house was a few blocks from her childhood home. Derek grew up working class in Maine, then moved his way up the ladder in an insurance company in Manhattan to become a senior vice president, with a salary large enough to afford $13 million house. That's a lot, by the way. The Broadduses had 657 Boulevard just after Derek celebrated his 40th birthday, and their 3 kids were already debating which of the house's fireplace Santa Claus would use. But Derek kept reading the letter from his new neighbor. It took a turn. How did it end up here? The writer asked, "Did 657 Boulevard call you with its force within?" The letter went on. The author recognizes had the author's has apparently began. The letter identified the Broadduses' Honda minivan, as well as working renovations at the home. "I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors, so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be," the person wrote. Task. Bad move. You do not want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy. Earlier in the week, Derek and Maria had gone to the house and chatted with a few neighbors while their children, who were 5, 8, and 10 years old, ran around in the backyard with several kids from the neighborhood. The letter written seemed to have been noticed. "You have children. I've seen them. So far. I think there are 3 that I have counted," the anonymous correspondent wrote, before asking if there was more on the way. The envelope had a return address. "Who am I?" the person wrote. There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I am one. Look up. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard. Maybe I am in one. Look out. Any of many windows in 657 Boulevard at all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. The letter concluded with a suggestion that this message would not be the last. Welcome, my friends. Welcome. Let the party begin. Followed by a signature typed in a cursive font, The Watcher. Now, the interesting thing about this mystery is that it has never been solved to this day. No one has solved it, and it probably will never be solved. So, I just wanted to throw that fact out there, but let's keep reading. It was after 10 p.m. and Derek Broaddus was alone. He raced around the house, turning off the lights so no one could see inside. Then the call Westfield Police Department. An officer came to the house, read the letter, and said, "What the fuck is this?" he asked Derek if he had enemies, and recommended moving piece construction equipment from the back porch in case the watcher tried to toss it through the window. Derek rushed to his wife and kids, who were leaving their old home elsewhere in Westfield that night. Derek and Maria wrote an email to John and Andrea Woods, the couple who sold them that 657 Boulevard, to ask if they had any idea who the watcher might be, or why he or she had written, and I asked the Woods to bring me young blood, and it looked like listed. Andrea Woods replied to the next morning, a few days before moving out of the Woods had also received a letter from the watcher. The note had been odd, she said, and made similar mentions of the Watcher family, observing the house over time. But Andrea said that her husband had never received anything like it in their 23 years of the house, had thrown the letter away without much thought. The day the Woodsons went Maria to the police station, where Detective Leonardo Lugo, I think that's what it says, Lugo, told her not to tell anyone about the letters, including her new neighbors, most of whom she had never met, and all whom were now suspects. The Broadduses spent the upcoming weeks on high alert. Derek canceled a work trip, and whenever Maria took the kids to their new house, she would yell their names if they were wandering into a corner of the yard. Then Derek gave a tour of the renovations to a couple of blocks further when his wife said, It'll be nice to have some young blood in the neighborhood." The Broaddus general contractor arrived one morning to find that heavy sign had hammered into the front yard had ripped out overnight. 2 weeks after the letter arrived, Maria stopped by the house to look at some paint samples and check the mail. She recognized the thick black lettering on a card-shaped envelope and called the police. "Welcome again to your new house at 657 Boulevard," the watcher wrote. "The workers have been busy and I have been watching you unload careful of your personal belongings. The dumpster is a nice touch. Have they found what's in the walls yet? In time they will." Now, that's creepy as hell. What does he mean there's stuff in the walls? Are there dead bodies in there? Are there spirits? We don't know. But let's keep reading. This time the watcher had addressed Derek and Maria directly, misspelling their names as Mr. and Mrs. Broaddus. Had the watcher been close enough to hear one of the Broaddus' contractors addressing them, the watcher busted of having learned a lot about the family in the preceding weeks, especially about their children. The letter identified the Broaddus' three kids by their birth order and by their nicknames, the ones Maria had been yelling, "I am pleased to know their names now, and the name of the young blood you have brought to me." It said, "You certainly say their names often." The letter asked about one child in particular whom the letter had seen using an easel inside the enclosed porch. Is she the artist in the family? I feel like that's me and my family, by the way, guys. Okay. Compare their town to Mayberry, the idyllic setting. Okay, hold on, let me just skip that part. The kind of place where the new neighbor might greet you within a welcome note. Westfield is 45 minutes away from New York, and a bit too slow for a single meaning. The town's 30,000 residents are largely well-to-do with families this year, blah blah blah. Blooming ranked Westfield the 99th richest city in America. I'm just going to skip that. Okay. Built in 1905, 657 Boulevard was perhaps the grandest home on the block. I'm going to skip that too, blah blah blah. Okay. Okay, you know what? Okay. The Woodises put on the market. They had received multiple offers above asking price. That led to the Broadduses intentionally suspect that the watcher might be somewhat upset over losing the house. But the Woods said that the interested buyer had backed out after a bad medical diagnosis, while another already found a different home. In the email to the Broadduses, Aria Woods proposed another theory. Would the mention of the contractor tracks and your children suggest that it was someone in the neighborhood? The letter did indicate proximity that had been processed in, Canary in the U.S. Postal Service Distribution Center in the North New Jersey of the first postmarket June 4th before sale was public. The Woods had never put up a for sale sign, and only a day after the contractors arrived, the renovations were mostly and people who live near say that they didn't notice any unusual commotion even from the jackhammering. In the basement, when Derek and Maria, Detective Leo, around the house, they showed him that the easel on the porch was hidden from street by vegetation, marking it difficult to see unless someone was behind the house right next door. A few days after the first letter, Maria and Derek went to the barbecue across the street, welcoming them to a new homeowner block. The Broadduses didn't tell anyone about the watcher, as the police had instructed, and found themselves scanning the property for any clues, while keeping tabs on the kids who ran generously around the crowd to make much of the suspect pool. We kept screaming at them to stay close. Maria said, "People must have thought we were crazy." So, I actually took a screenshot of where I left off. This is going to be part 1 of the Watcher story. So, if you want to keep watching, if you want to see part 2, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Like I said before, if you can get me to 200 subscribers, I will gladly let my sister pour slime on me. If you want to see that, because it'd be hilarious, you can get me to 200 subscribers. And each time I get 100 more subscribers, I will do something funny like that for you guys to see. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like, and a few days from now I'll make part 2 of this. I even screenshotted it to know exactly where I left off. So, thank you for watching. Goodbye.